Welcome your host, Caddy Frink, as she leads discussions about substance use disorder and the journey to recovery. You're listening to Redefining Recovery, a recovery revolution.
Gotta wait for that little lead in, like music change, just kind of get the vibe going. I wasn't here the last show. I had Sarah and Brandy here doing the show. So welcome to Redefining Recovery, a recovery revolution. I have across the table from me, who is this bright and shiny human?
Good morning, Caddy. It's Cynthia.
And who are you, Cynthia?
So, Cynthia Munguia here, Executive Director for Minnesota Recovery Connection.
Oh, the honor and the privilege I have to have my boss in front of me. So we are here, and we are here welcoming everybody to the show. We want to make sure that we are thanking those who have donated to Minnesota Recovery Connection. We've had a plethora of people that have been donating to our show, and we have fulfilled our obligation, and we're going to talk a little bit about what it's like being a nonprofit organization and having this incredible show. It's given me an incredible opportunity to fulfill a dream, and now we have more dreams we need to fulfill. But first, yes. What's right with you today, Miss Cynthia?
So what's right with me today is that I get to be here. I get to be here today now for such a time as this for this purpose. And that is what's right with me today, Caddy. What's right with you?
What's right with me is that I'm back in the saddle here. This is always my fun place. This is my dreamy place. So I'm back being able to talk about what recovery really looks like and what recovery really needs in our community. So I am grateful to be back in the chair. I'm grateful that I get to be across from a woman that I admire, and I want to continue this recovery journey that we're on. So that's what I'm super grateful about.
Isn't it lovely? I think the greatest gift in life, or the greatest gift that life can give us, is for us to be able to work in a space that we love.
I know. Isn't it amazing?
That
I was listening to one of the morning news programs, and they were talking about what it means to be more mature, have more seasoning on our sauce that we might have in life, and how do we stay fulfilled?
Correct.
And how do we stay fulfilled? Those who are young and that are exuberant and getting into their recovery and getting into their careers and kind of like tasting all those things in life, that I know that I've had that incredible journey. You've had much of your journey, but it's like, what does one do at a point in life when you're like, what do I do? How do I fulfill that? So I don't and not to put anybody in a box, but maybe sit in my garage on a lawn chair and look out at the street. That's not what I'm going to do, So it is so satisfying to work in an industry, although very taxing on occasion, to be giving back and also to see all the incredible progress that we've made. So why don't you give them a hint what we're going to talk about in that coming up next, and maybe just some of the exciting things that are going on at our organization, Minnesota Recovery Connection.
Absolutely. So today's episode really is a call to action. It really is about taking that moment. Sit in your garage if you must.
Please do, on your chair.
On your lawn
chair.
And
do you.
And look outside. But really also look inside. And I mean, dive deep. And at any point as a listener, this radio station, this program, Minnesota Recovery Connection, Redefining Recovery, a recovery revolution. If at any point over the past 60 plus shows,
I know, isn't that cool?
That's something. Has just sparked a little interest in you, or you have resonated with some of the stories that have been shared, some of the experiences that we've put on the table. If that has, at any level, got your attention, today we're here to do a call to action. What does that mean? What does that look like for Minnesota Recovery Connection? What does that look like for AM 950? Putting a plug in here for AM 950.
Of course, progressive radio station that we get to have the honor of partnering with.
And Yes. And because of this radio program and because of the people that we connected with and their spirit and their personalities and the heart that they have, along with the heart that you have to produce content and to send it out into the airways and connect with individuals out in the community and beyond.
Mm-hmm.
When we do a call to action, what that really says or what that really means is we need you.
Yeah, we need you to participate in the ways that you possibly can in this program.
And now we have started our new fiscal year at
Mm-hmm.
Minnesota Recovery Connection. July is the first month of our next fiscal year, 2026. So this is month 1 of 12. And this is where we start out with a brand new slate, a clean slate. We have fulfilled, as Caddy alluded to, we have fulfilled all our obligations to our previous donors that have supported us. And one of our major donors was the Patrick and Amy Butler Foundation.
Thank you for hearing
Yes.
and seeing something different in
Thank
what they
you.
wanted us to do. Man alive. That was when you came to me, when we were like, we had that opportunity come to us. It's like, hey, we want to see something different. You had talked to AM 950. I had like this weird connection way back in the day. And all of a sudden it's like, oh, let's do something innovative. Let's have these conversations. So thank you, Amy. And
Yes.
Butler
Yep.
Foundation.
And Joanne Peters, who is has been a great supporter from MRC, for Minnesota Recovery Connection. And well, now is a new year. And now we require additional funding
Mm-hmm.
and new funding.
Mm-hmm.
And so our call to action really is dive deep, look at that. If this is something that you want us to see, you want to see us continue to do, we need your support.
Yep.
And that support looks like green dollar bills.
Yes.
And we're looking for major sponsors here. I'm looking for 10 people that can turn around and say, you know what, I've got $10,000. I've got $5,000. I have $25,000. That's the type of ask that I have.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not turning away our small donors. I'm not turning away our donations, our gifts, because those are important, very important too.
Because those are the people that sometimes are listening to this program that say, wow, like you asked, did this ever impact you? Did this ever have any kind of feels in your space, in your heart, either for yourself or maybe the people that you love that have struggled with substance use disorder? I know I have gotten a couple of emails from people that said, wow, it really made me think. Well, if it made you think, maybe you can dig in a little bit. And it can be a small, it can be a medium, it can be a large. But every organization like ours that is nonprofit, that lives in the people's lives the way we do, we are not big insurance companies. We are not big, huge organizations. We are small, but man, oh man, are we mighty, Miss Cynthia? We are mighty little machines.
Yes.
But with that, we need support.
Correct.
And we need anybody to think about, do you have a sum of money that you can give to us? And remember, this is not about Caddy. This is not about Cynthia. This is about the community that we support, which is the people that either have struggled with substance use disorder or the people that love the people that have struggled with substance use disorder. And we've been able to, with this show, be able to show a lens of what does that look like? What is it that you're feeling? What it's like, I never thought about substance use disorder in that way.
Right.
I didn't think about people who have a justice involvement background that way. I haven't thought about people who have been to treatment and then all of a sudden they're not better. Well, why? Because we've been able to explain it is the beginning of a journey.
Yes.
And so when we're talking about the beginning of a journey, we have been on this journey with this beautiful radio station, AM 950, doing this dreamy program of Redefining Recovery, Recovery Revolution. Thank you, Aaron Fitzgerald, for being my co-pilot in the beginning and all the people that have been part of it. But that's what we're here for. We're here to brighten the light on the people that need to have the light shined on them, given the opportunity to believe in themselves or believe in the people that they love.
Exactly.
And we're going to take a break real quickly here, but I just want you to just think about what Cynthia said and maybe what I've said. We'll come back and we'll talk about all the different things that we've been able to do at Minnesota Recovery Connection. And if it has resonated with you, see if you can support us, because you're fulfilling my dream of doing this. So thank you for listening to Redefining Recovery, Recovery Revolution here at AM 950. Thank you.
We've all seen the man at the liquor store.
And we're bouncing in our chair here, redefining recovery revolution. Thank you for joining. My name is Patty Frank. I am the host of Redefining Recovery Revolution here, bouncing in our chairs to our happy music.
Yes.
I am with whom?
Cynthia Munguia.
This is a wonderful human. Cynthia and I have been affiliated with one another for several years.
Yes.
When did we first originally meet to do a timeline?
June of 2019.
Ooh.
I know.
And what did that look like back then?
That was Cynthia going through as an intern for her Master's of Public Administration program, assisting with a Recovery Coach Academy, only to discover that she herself is a woman in long-term recovery. Talk about exactly. When you imagine just these fireworks going off in your head, like, what was that?
I've got something new.
I never knew that.
I
didn't even know that existed, or it was a thing.
Mm-hmm.
But it took away those layers of shame, those layers of self. Oh my gosh, when you self-loathe because you were or you did or you experienced something that brought hurt and destruction to your family. And then somehow you get through that. And then all of a sudden you learn about this whole thing called recovery and what it looks like and how it impacts the lives of human beings. Now your story has value.
Oh, I remember when Cynthia was the assistant in the class, and I was in year one-ish doing the class way back then. I remember Wendy Jones, who was our director at the time, she came up and she goes, "Caddy, I think this is a good fit for you." It was really great. But no, I remember Cynthia being there, and she was like the class assistant doing all of the magical things that need to be done behind the scenes. And I just thought, this is really a cool lady. This is really a cool human. And I think what happened when I was doing that class, I'm having my own awakening of affecting, in this case, it was a bunch of individuals from Recovery Community Network in St. Cloud.
Correct.
And they were those who were in the veteran community, one way, shape, or form.
Yes.
Many were not active, but actively as a veteran, and then maybe some of their support system. And it's just like seeing people's eyes open up to what you just referenced, which is, oh, that's recovery. And it was just so amazing. And then now to have us be, she's our executive director. I'm kind of Caddy, the whatever I am at MRC. I'm there. Well, I appreciate that. But I feel like I've got the time in so I can really be a support to you and to the team that we have. So with that being said, let's remind, because we are on a call to action to people.
Yes.
Let's remind the listeners of literally all the things we do at Minnesota Recovery Connection. You're listening to one piece of what we do. You've heard individuals talk about their stories, what they've gained from our organization, as well as the greater recovery community, building that recovery capital, building those things where people feel like they have value. The shame begins to peel away, like Cynthia said.
Yes.
So, one of the things that I do that I've referenced about 1 million times in these episodes is that I train the peer recovery specialist training, which is getting people to become an individual who helps people through one-on-one services, that helps people see that recovery is possible through the lens that I have, and the person who is the active peer recovery specialist help a participant. And we call them participants, not clients and not patients. And I was just at a training that I'll reference later that I'm like, why do you think that we all call them participants? And they're like, I don't know. And I'm like, because they're participating in their recovery. So it is a movement within somebody's mind that they are a participant. They're not being told what to do, what they should do. They're not like, what's wrong with you? It's like, what happened to you? Why are you in this space? Why are you participating in this journey? So from your lens, what are some of the things that you want to tell that listeners about why they want to invest in Minnesota Recovery Connection and this show? What are some of the things that you want to reference?
So going back to what you talked about during that 2019 training, although I was not a veteran, I am a Blue Star mom. That is a mother of a veteran. And one of the things that I did see is a lot of alcohol use among our veterans. And so that really just impacted me in a great deal because I saw the suffering firsthand, but I was secretly doing my own thing in the confines of my own closet and suffering through that by myself. And then through this training, we were able to learn what all the pathways to recovery that we honor. And it's not just one way because Caddy, I love you. We both may identify as cisgender, female. We are two different people.
So very different.
My dark chocolate hair has, I mean, I pay hundreds of dollars to have lightened hair like yours.
Oh, I pay hundreds of dollars to have lightened hair like I have too.
You know, and my natural bronze color or brown color, you know, I have to really just look in the mirror and just say, you know, I may look different than Caddy or than you or than anybody that's sitting across from me, but we suffer.
And the journey is real.
Is real, regardless of what we look like, where we come from, what we believe in, how we sing, how we dance in the shower. It doesn't matter.
Or what we've done, or what we've done to others, or how we've impacted other people's lives. Yeah.
And so all of those trainings, that's just one component of what Minnesota Recovery does. Minnesota Recovery Connection has so many programs. We are not just training. We are going into the Department of Corrections and educating individuals in there because they are there somehow, one way or the other, related to a substance use disorder.
Inevitably, there's some there's like some tether somewhere, if not the reason.
The reason. We're going out to counties, different counties, Dakota County, Anoka County, we're in Todd County, we're in Clay County.
In all of those justice impacted areas. Yes. So, impacting the people that are possibly on their new journey into their what behavior got them into those county jails, but then also waking them up to say it doesn't have to continue.
Correct. And here's some tools.
Yeah.
Here's some things that you can do.
And here's some empathy that we understand.
So there's those different types of programmings. We also go and we go into the community and okay, so maybe you're not able to come to MRC or Minnesota Recovery Connection, come into our building and attend an all recovery meeting. So how about we go out to the community and we establish those for you so that you can get going in that space. What about going into, for example, Avivo? We go into Avivo.
Avivo is called, it's Avivo Village in Minneapolis.
Yep.
Yes.
And support our residents that live there. We have programming for moms with children who are involved with CPS.
Children Family Services.
We have programming such as the radio programming, developing podcasts, one way or the other, information through articles, magazines that we've started to really get the word out through written materials.
Yeah, so people can reference it. Yeah,
in different pockets of the community, in different languages. So not only do we have this regular programming, and then we can't forget our one-on-one peer support.
Well, I mean, that's what brought us to the existence. I mean, there was a vision back in 2009 that said, hey, this getting sober, getting clean, it can be something else and beyond that, which is really where the whole Minnesota Recovery Connection came into play. Yeah. What can it look like if you don't want to follow some of the traditional models? We know we're the land of 10,000 treatment centers. Duh.
Yeah.
You know, we got a lot going on in that neighborhood. You know, we've got a lot of very famous treatment centers and they do amazing work. But that doesn't fit for everybody. So those original people that walked on the ground and said, how can we look at this a little bit differently? How can we find people that want to see themselves not in the traditional light? So that's where Minnesota Recovery Connection was like, what else can we do? And that's where this birth came from. And I remember back in 2016, when I first walked in the doors of Minnesota Recovery Connection, the things that they had, they didn't even really have peer-to-peer services directly because didn't exist yet. But what they had was this telephone recovery support. And I remember some of the volunteers, I couldn't recall their names, but they had a room and they had their computers and they had their system. And they were on the phones just calling people who said, I just want a phone call. Will you just ask me how my recovery is? And like, that is like the essence of what we do, just like in peer-to-peer services.
Yeah.
Give somebody a call, say, hey, how's your recovery going? How's your day going? And they're like, you're calling me?
Yeah.
You're actually calling me when you said you'd call me?
Mm-hmm.
And this is like a huge part of what we do.
Yeah.
And these are all volunteers, folks. These are people that are giving their time to Minnesota Recovery Connection to call their fellow human and say, how's it going? Or the other volunteers that come in and they sit at our front desk, bless their lovely, lovely humanness, answer our phones,
Yes.
transfer calls, welcome people in. Currently, I've got all those volunteers sitting at our front desk distributing bags of training that I'm doing next week virtually. So we have this incredible volunteer program, which also is a corridor for those who are justice impacted.
Correct.
Sometimes they have to do community service. I had
Yes.
to do community service back in the day because I had justice impacted. But what I didn't have the opportunity way back then to do with Minnesota Recovery Connection, but these people come in and they offer and also have to do
Yes.
their time, but we are a resource for them because then they begin to see
Correct.
maybe what a recovery community looks like. Maybe they were impacted by substance use, but they don't even know why they're coming in the door, but they got to come in the door.
Yes.
It's kind of fun to see people kind of go, what do you do here?
Yeah.
We're like, well, let's try to tell you. So it's like that huge volunteer component that is really the essence of the beginning of Minnesota Recovery Connection. Because that's what I did way back in the day. I came in as a volunteer because I was taking the class. So that's another huge component that gives people the opportunity to say, what does recovery look like? It doesn't have to be the traditional models.
Correct.
And never trashing, never saying anything negative about them. But as Cynthia said, she's a whole different woman than I'm a different woman. The common link that I always say is that we do understand addiction.
Yes.
There's where that common
We have
denominator is.
shared
It looks different, but we can say, me too.
We have shared experiences.
Yeah.
We really, really do. And then another program that we have, which is the largest event that we have, our flagship event, which is the Walk for Recovery.
And when is that, Miss Cynthia?
September 13th from 10 to 3. We have our Walk for Recovery on September the 16th. We will be at,
Rally Caps.
Rally Caps for Recovery, September the 16th. We'll have over 2,000 seats dedicated to Minnesota Recovery Connection and everybody that supports recovery. Well, it's the Minnesota Twins against the New York Yankees this year.
It's going to be big.
And so then we wrap it up with our gratitude breakfast. So our call to action really says, we need you. We need your financial support. If this resonates with you, if this is important to you, help us continue another year of service of everything that we're doing, because you're not only supporting our radio station here and the work that we do here, you're supporting other areas of our programming that is continuing to help a loved one, perhaps, that will cross our path, and you have no idea that they will, but they've heard it on the radio. They heard it here, and it will be touching the lives of your friends, the lives of your loved ones, or maybe even you, listener. Maybe at some point, even you would, turn around and say, you know what? I could really use some support today. Maybe it's just having a phone call with Caddy, whatever that looks like. And you don't have to be Minnesota bound. You could be in Europe. You could be anywhere across the United States.
And Europe. I have European friends that listen to the program.
Yep.
So that's where the reach really is it's way outside. It's all, and I really want people to know that our reach, I've got friends in Chicago. I've got friends in Texas. I've got friends in the UK. I've got friends in, there's somebody in Colorado. There's somebody in Oregon. There's somebody in Washington State. So this is really begin to have a reach. This is the reach that we need to bring out to people that are either struggling or they are wanting people to just know that there's some place that they can listen to people that aren't going to tell them what to do.
Right. Right. And that's why we're calling out to you, listener, today. That's why this is our call to action.
Yeah.
We need your support. And today's the day.
Yeah, today's the day.
Call AM 950. put your donation there, say it, apply it to Minnesota Recovery Connection, call Minnesota Recovery Connection directly, go to our website.
Got a donation button right there.
Right there. You know what? Become a monthly recurring giver, donor, and you will help us keep our doors open. You will help us. We keep our radio station on, our radio programming going on. And because we're a nonprofit, we are fiscally responsible to every dime that you give, and you have full access to our financial records at any given time of the year, because we are, as a nonprofit, judicially
beholden to that. Yeah.
Responsible to that. So
yeah. And I think the thing is that when people are asked to call to action, they're like, wow, well, what can I do? What can I do? And this is a time when you reach out to a greater community too.
Yes.
If you know somebody at your workplace that struggled and you've been the ear that they've listened to, and they've benefited either from your knowledge from either this program, or maybe you had somebody that called Minnesota Recovery Connections, like pool your resources together and say, hey, this is worth it.
Yeah.
This is worth it, because you know what? People who hurt and people who get better are better people in society.
Yeah.
They are better people for their community. We have to think about the greater impact, because it isn't one person that struggles with substance use disorder. It's family, it's friends, it's community, it's a workplace. Because an unhealthy person who is trying their very best to find their way through something, I know I did it way back in the day. I came into work and I was not my best, but I didn't know what to do.
Correct.
But I had people that kind of they cared, but they were buffaloed. Now we know what to do.
Now we know.
If you listen to this program, you are someone who's like, I'm kind of intrigued on what they're talking about. They got that weird Caddy, and sometimes Sarah and Caddy, and we got Cynthia, and we got all these people, and they tell their stories. We are vulnerable when we come on this radio program.
Absolutely.
We are laying our stuff out, because you might know somebody who is really reluctant to lay out their stuff, but they need somebody either to hear can do it, or you have a willingness to say, I'm just going to ask you how you're doing. And is there anything I can do? I'm not going to tell you what to do. I'm not going to try to fix you. I'm not going to say what's wrong with you. I'm going to say what happened to you. We have given you so much information on how to love the person that is struggling. That is the value of all of this. That's the value of Minnesota Recovery Connection, the value of this program, because we know we have more people out there that are struggling. I'm just so enthusiastic.
Yep.
So one thing I want to mention, you mentioned the Walk for Recovery.
Yes.
So I want everybody to know this is an event. I just had somebody ask me, a volunteer who came in yesterday. She goes, what's that Walk for Recovery? And I said, so it's on September 13th. It's at the state capitol. We will have food trucks. We will have bounce houses. We will have a pet zone. We will have upwards of 100 possibly vendors there that are giving away their information about all the different services that are available in every idea of recovery. I mean, we'll have housing, we'll have Gamblers Anonymous, we'll have potentially the Department of Corrections, we'll have tons of treatment centers, we'll have housing opportunities. I mean, it's all game on. But what it is it's about the people who are in recovery having a place to go where they're going to go, there's no beer, there's no anything that could tempt them. There's just people who love them. And then more importantly, as well as is the people that love the people that maybe are not with us anymore.
Correct.
They will have a team maybe that is doing the walk, and they're gathering the sponsorship sponsees to Walk for Recovery and raise money for Minnesota Recovery Connection to continue this. So this is an event where it's about the people that struggled, the people that love the people that struggle, the people that are out there. So we call them our people in recovery and our allies. And I mean, last year, I think it was about 4,000 people that showed up, give or take.
Yep.
I mean, it was amazing. And a whole pocket of bees that we took care of too.
Yeah.
But you know what? Sometimes you just got to deal with what you got to deal with. And I'm in a little truck, or not a little truck, a little golf cart. My name is Caddy. I'm in a golf cart. You play with that one. You do all you want to do, folks. But I'm around there, and I'm just encouraging people to just love up on themselves and the community. So it's such a big event, and it's such an opportunity for you also to say, hey, look at what we do at Minnesota Recovery Connection.
Correct. And so there's different ways of participating. There's virtual walks that you can do. That's happened before.
Yeah.
Yes. And you can create a walking team, have everybody register, have everybody donate. The winner, this year's winner of the teams that walk, they create their teams. This year's winner will be showcased on next year's t-shirt.
Yeah, I know. Isn't that fun? That was
uh,
that was a suggestion from one of our volunteers.
Yes. And so that's great. And we're going to take him up on that and really showcase our community. These are community members. These are not organizations that are coming together. They're creating teams. They're raising funds in memory of someone that they've lost to this addiction, to this
disease of addiction. Yeah.
Yep.
And I mean, it's a wonderful idea that came from someone he's an ally to the recovery community. So, these great people that support people, it's marvelous. And he gives his time to Minnesota Recovery Connection. And so, yeah, I mean, think about that. You could build a team, folks, and then you can have your team name. And then next year on the t-shirt, we'll give you a space on the back of the t-shirt that says, Team A1, number one, super fan, super good humans. Here we are.
Yeah.
And,
2025 winner.
Yeah, 2025 winner. It would be
Yes.
amazing.
Yeah.
So other things. So let me just talk a little bit. Last week, I was up in Moose Lake Correctional Facility training 22 men who are within that Department of Corrections facility. I call it a community because it's a community within the community. And I had 22 amazing men. If I could name them all off, I would. But I can't tell people how much the people that are even in that community want to give back to their community. And then they also want to come out of that situation, whatever that timing looks like, whatever that situation looks like. And they may become peer recovery specialists, but let me tell you, they know something more about themselves and what recovery looks like. And they're going to come out to the community and say, I am better. I have been reformed. And then I got this secret sauce from Caddy and Alicia and the team that puts together our training, and Sue Hoisington and all the contributors to our training. And I got to say, they get to say, I can do this. I can do this. I don't have to go back to a different life. Right. I can take on a new life that looks so positive. And I see this energy come through these guys. By the end of the week, they're like, the beginning of the week, they're like a little bit like, I don't know everybody in this room. I passed them by in the hallways, I've kind of gone, give them a head nod. By the end of the week, they're all talking. They're all grateful. They're all like awoken to what you said happened to you up in St. Cloud, which was
like, wow.
What is recovery?
Wow. I didn't even know that this existed. I didn't know what this was. And to be able to embrace, here's the thing. I historically lived in the shadows of my mistakes.
Yep.
Now I get to embrace that because I get to tell that story, because I get to show how far I've come.
The advancement.
The
movement.
And not only that, I'm an author as well. So I wrote this book, and you don't know how far your reach goes because my book is in Spanish. My book has reached the Dominican. It has reached Cuba. It has reached Mexico because there's stories in there. So I took that learning and I put it in that book, and I gave tools for the reader to be able to apply those tools in any situation.
And I think something that my partner talks a lot about is that stories help people understand journeys. So we can give you like a specific here, do this, do this, do this. But you hear Cynthia's story and what she went through. You've heard many times the story that I went through, and you're like, that's me. But that's also her. And that's her, or that's Darnell, or that's Y who's been in here, or that's Colin Cash who's been in here. I'm not alone, number one. But then I hear a story and I find that I am viable. I am real. I don't have to live in the shame. I don't have to live in the shadows. I get to like be whole again. So it's really magical when we can get together and we can talk and we can share and tell our story, because our story has value. It might have that's not the right word. It might have impacted somebody or somebody's. But when we come out on the other side, there's that side.
Yes.
And we get to impact and we get to say, yeah, I'm better. And I want you to be better alongside me.
Correct.
Take me with you.
Yeah.
I'll take you with me. Take me on your journey, even if it's only in your head. I mean,
Right.
that's the magic of this. So we're going to come back after a break and we're going to kind of summarize all of this beautiful call to action. And appreciate you listening to this program because the dream is coming true for me, and I want to continue the dream. The dream.
Yes.
There's no song, and this house needs loving.
Here's that movement in the chair again, Cynthia. Just kind of vibing up.
Oh, I love that.
I know. Sorry, I shouldn't be doing that over the music because that sounds really annoying, but I just love it. This is Caddy Frank from Minnesota Recovery Connection at Redefining Recovery, Recovery Revolution. And who's across the table?
And this is Cynthia Munguia, the Executive Director for Minnesota Recovery Connection.
Here we are. So I'm going to tell just a quick story. One of the gentlemen that was in my class, and maybe one day when he is out in the greater community, that's what we call when individuals that are incarcerated come out, they come from one community to the next. He's done a fair amount of time within the justice impacted system. And he came in and he was all one pathway. I mean, he was that
straight and narrow.
He's like, this is what I do. This is what I believe in. And I quote, his name is Marvin. He said, no, Milton. I'm sorry, Milton. Milton said, I'm all in. I'm all in with this one program. And I said, you do you, Marvin. Milton. Geez, he actually he called himself Sanders. So Sanders. And so he said, I'm all in. I said, okay, that's great. And I said, are you willing to be open to more? He's like, oh, okay. A little reluctant. And so talking about recovery looks like there's clean, there's sober, and then there's recovery. Then talked about pathways, then talked about having an openness to being aware of everybody's culture. And that we may look alike, we may sound alike, but sure as heck, we are not alike. Even if Cynthia and I are two entirely different women, but we have one thing in common, and that's where it is. And participating in your recovery and talking to people, asking really good questions, and then shutting your mouth and opening up your ears. And I just kept, I'm just doing my thing. I'm all in. And by Wednesday, I'm like, so Sanders, he's like, I think I'm getting it, Caddy. I said, oh, really? And then by Friday, I wanted to pound my hands on the table. I can't do that because I probably deafen y'all. He's like, I'm all in with this peer recovery stuff. I'm all in. The other stuff works too.
Yes.
But now I get it, that it can't just be one way because that doesn't fit everybody. And I'm like, I brought you to my side, Sanders. I brought you to my side. And it was fun to see that transition because it happened to many of the other men too, because they live in this bubble, literally. And then they live in their shame and their guilt and their regret and all that. And then when they come out, they're like, have hope and have dreams and have aspirations. And that's what we get to do at Minnesota Recovery Connection. That's what this show is about giving you dreams, aspirations, and hope, and knowing that your shame, you don't have to carry with you. You're not going to ever have to, you're not ever going to probably let it go completely, but it gets to go further and further back. And if there's anything that I can speak to, and that is, if I can get men who have and women who have been incarcerated to not look at what they did, but who are they now?
Right.
Say no more.
It no longer hinders their progression.
Exactly.
And so, and wrapping it up and coming back to our call to action, to the reason why we're here today, is really to invite you, listener, to be part of what we do. To go with us along this journey as we report to you what we do, and we show you what we're doing in the community. We demonstrate that through our data and our numbers, and our not only are we getting numbers as far as data goes, but we're getting stories,
And we're getting people.
experiences, and we're seeing lives change. And behind this education, this knowledge, this support, this one-on-one support, learning how to advocate for ourselves, learning how to advocate for others. And I promise you, listener, if being here today behind this mic didn't come without its fears.
Oh,
It did not come without this apprehension, this, oh my gosh, I don't know how to do this. It came with its own baggage of fear
like, what the heck am I doing?
to ask.
Yeah.
But I have to put that aside because it's not about me.
It's about
It's
our recovery
about
community.
Our community and how we're going to continue. We've been open for 16 years. And so we need support to continue open for another 16. And that's what today is about. Is you have money in your pocket, you have money sitting there, you don't know what to do. Maybe you have your will set up, maybe you've got your planned giving done, and you don't know what to do. Where do I want to make the greatest impact? We're right here.
Yep.
We are right here in your community. We are right here in your backyard.
Yep.
And so we're needing you. We need donors. We need sponsors. We need $25,000 sponsors. I need a $10,000 sponsor. I need a $5,000 sponsor, a $3,000 sponsor, $800 sponsor. I need a $100,000 sponsor.
If you're out there.
So if you're and you're listening today is our call to action.
Or if you know somebody who has maybe never heard this program and they have been impacted, they have maybe lost a loved one and they are still in the reels of what that might be feeling like, but they have the financial ability to say, I'm not exactly sure how to give back because I lost someone. Correct. Or my friend has lost someone, or my someone has lost someone. We are where we can make a difference.
Correct.
I want to say there was a young man in my training, Cynthia, this is amazing. This is amazing. I'll use his first name. His name was Brent. He came up to me after the class when I was up in Moose Lake at the Department of Corrections. He looked me straight in the eye and he says, Caddy, my life has been changed. And he says, I want to donate to Minnesota Recovery Connection. Y'all, this is a person who's incarcerated, who saw the value of what we were giving to them. Yes, we do it through grants. We do it through things. I get paid, but we are giving this information to them. And he said, I want you to know that I'm making a donation to what you did for us today and this week. And I looked at him and I'm like, you make 25 cents an hour. When you work in the system, that to me was the greatest amazing thing about what the impact of our organization and what the strength of the recovery community, telling the stories, loving our community, giving what we can to our community, sometimes just sitting down and listening.
Sometimes it's just being that ear and being that person that they trust. They develop trust with you over time because you're consistent and you're there. And we don't want to undermine the work and the money that it takes for us to do the work that we do. It takes money, folks. It takes money to run your house. Minnesota Recovery Connection is our home. It takes money to run our home. And that's why today is so important. And I really just encourage you to just make that phone call and
hit that webpage donation button, whatever it looks like.
And let us know.
Yeah. And you know what? I will be here as long as I possibly can, as long as the funding is here. Y'all know, if you've been listening to this program for all of these episodes, that this is the dream that I had. I wanted to always have a voice along with my community members to say, it's okay to struggle. It's okay to get in recovery. It's just okay to be human, and whatever that looks like. So if you believe in a little bit of me and a lot of what we do, and you are humored by my goofiness, and you are intrigued by the fact that recovery is a thing, do what you can, because we will carry on, carry through, carry forward as best we can. But we can't do it without money. We can't do it.
And for us to continue our radio program, folks, listener, we are looking to raise $18,000 to continue our work for fiscal year 2026. So I'm excitedly waiting to hear from you.
Yes. So as we leave this program, we want everybody to know that we are nonprofit organization. We offer free services at Minnesota Recovery Connection. So if you don't have a dime in your pocket, you don't have a penny in your pocket, you are absolutely unequivocally welcome.
Absolutely.
Every day, all the time, as well as if those of you who have the ability to run into our call for action, we've got you. So I want to thank you for listening. Cynthia, thank you.
Thank you.
And we will come back in our next program. The next program is going to be another story from one of our community members. And so next show, be there listening. And for all of you that are out there having a beautiful day and a beautiful time, enjoy lovely, lovely weather we have here in Minnesota. And if you are outside the Minnesota area, gosh darn it, I hope it's nice there too.
Yes.
So thank you for listening to Redefining Recovery, a Recovery Revolution. Bye-bye, Cynthia.
Bye-bye.
Yeah.